After a long wait, Marvel fans finally have an idea of what the future will look like.
On my way down to coordinate search and rescue.
On my way down to coordinate search and rescue.
I mean, honestly.
Even though we're still in the middle of Phase 4 of MCU, we now are beyond excited knowing that 2 new Avengers movies lie ahead. Recap. In the comics, a cosmic being known as the Beyonder is fascinated by the existence of superheroes on Earth and kidnaps Marvel's top heroes by teleporting them to a man-made planet known as the Battleworld, where he commands them to engage in a deathmatch. The simple concept indicated major changes for the Marvel status quo at the time. Most memorably, Spider-Man received his black costume on the Battleworld, which was, of course, the Venom symbiote. The interesting thing about those alterations, as a side note, is that they were revealed to readers months or maybe a full year before they were properly described in Secret Wars. In Peter Parker the Spectacular Spider-Man, issue number 89, which was published on January 17, 1984, but was actually dated April 1984, Peter feels compelled to go to Central Park, where he finds a weird cosmic doorway and walks through it and disappears. Later in The Amazing Spider-Man, issue number 252, dated May 1984 but published on January 31, 1984, Peter comes from the portal wearing the black outfit, followed closely by the Avengers and a D-Lizard Kurt Connors. 6 months later in Amazing Spider-Man, issue number 258, published on July 31st but with a November 1984 cover date, Peter, with the Fantastic Four's intervention, ultimately discovers that the suit is a parasitic organism that is trying to form a permanent bond with him. Finally, fans discovered how Peter acquired that costume in Secret Wars issue number 8, which was published on August 28th but was actually dated December 1984. Phase 4 of the MCU and beyond appear to be connected by the universe, as Marvel has been hinting at for a very long time. When Peter Parker unintentionally punched a hole in the system, several iconic Spider-Man villains entered the Marvel Cinematic Universe for the first time in Spider-Man No Way Home. Also, it has been hinted in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness when Wanda Maximoff makes an attempt to fracture the multiverse into pieces in order to find her children who were separated from her at the end of WandaVision. The studio also appears to be positioning Jonathan Majors as Kang the Conqueror as the next Thanos-level threat for the franchise, but once again, neither Kevin Feige, president of Marvel Studios, nor any other MCU executives have made any strong comments on the subject. Release date. Back in July 2020, Joe Russo revealed that to execute something on the scale of Infinity War was directly related to the dream of Secret Wars. Marvel Studios finally revealed what is next in the MCU. They unveiled the titles of the upcoming Avengers sequels, Avengers The Kang Dynasty, and Avengers Secret Wars, which are official Avengers 5 and Avengers 6. At this point, the Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars are still a long way down the road. The only news we got is the year that we'll be able to see parts 5 and 6. Following the release of Avengers The Kang Dynasty, which will be aired somewhere in May 2025, therefore, it's expected that Secret Wars will follow things up by being released on November 7, 2025, later that year. When we see where the MCU is headed, both with the events and characters to come, we should be expecting a lot more on this topic in the near future. Cast. After all these years, we wonder who will be in the Secret Wars. Even though we're unsure, we do know that the main MCU players are still on the board. There's obviously Chris Hemsworth as Thor, Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange, Elizabeth Olsen as Scarlet Witch, Mark Ruffalo as Bruce Banner, Paul Rudd as Ant-Man, Evangeline Lilly as Wasp, also Tom Holland as Spider-Man, Anthony Mackie as Captain America, Sebastian Stan as Bucky Barnes, Brie Larson as Captain Marvel, followed by Simu Liu as Shang-Chi, Letitia Wright as Shuri, Jeremy Renner as Hawkeye, Florence Pugh as Yelena Belova, and all those Eternals. Not to mention the new characters that Disney Plus has added, like Iman Vellani as Ms. Marvel, Oscar Isaac as Moon Knight, Hailee Steinfeld as Kate Bishop, Tatiana Maslany as She-Hulk, and many more to come. It's natural that as the MCU grows, the company will continue to include more and more legendary characters from comic books throughout time and reveal new titles for projects that fans can get excited about. Therefore, a combination of the characters mentioned above, as well as a large number of unlisted characters, are possible candidates for this fight-to-the-death challenge that is the Secret Wars. Story. The ideal comic book multiverse plot will encounter the ultimate cinema multiverse. The Secret Wars story felt like a logical progression for Marvel Studios after the Infinity Saga. It's challenging to foresee what a Secret Wars movie will include for several reasons. One of the things is that during Marvel's history, there have been 3 different Secret Wars comic book crossover events. The first one, which was published in 1984 and 1985, is still considered a classic. In 2005, a sequel called Secret Wars was released, but both fans and critics disliked it. Then in 2015, Marvel made another attempt with a third Secret Wars comic, which was possibly a commercial and critical success. The name Secret Wars may have made longtime Marvel fans tremble. The Marvel superhero Secret Wars from 1984 to 1985 by Jim Shooter and a second Secret Wars from 2015 by Jonathan Hickman are the two comics that served as a basis for the film's inspiration. Battleworld, a planet possessing aspects from every Marvel multiverse dimension, is involved in both crossover events. Both films aim to include as many Marvel Universe heroes as they can in a single production. Throughout Phase 4, the MCU has dropped hints about Secret Wars in various ways. Incursions have become a well-known phenomenon as a result of the franchise's extensive obsession with the universe, which allows Marvel Studios to finally include characters that were previously unavailable and held by other studios. The post-credits cameo of Tom Hardy as Eddie Brock, aka Venom, in Spider-Man No Way Home provided yet another significant clue about Secret Wars. Eddie drops a tiny piece of the alien symbiote off at a Mexican bar. It moves shortly before the screen goes black. Going from Mexico to New York to infect Peter Parker is not a tough journey for a sentient space goo. In an interview, Anthony Russo stated, "It would be the biggest movie you could possibly imagine, so that's what really excites us about the story. The ambition of it is even bigger than the ambition of the Infinity Saga." But we're not sure that the Russo brothers will be the creators of Avengers 5 and 6. The Russo brothers currently are not attached to produce Avengers: The Kang Dynasty and Avengers: Secret Wars, according to Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige, who made the statement to Deadline at this year's San Diego Comic-Con. The Russo brothers are not connected to it. They have been very direct about that. "We love them. They love us. We want to find something to do together. Just not this," said Feige. Although we have a lot of information regarding the MCU adaptation of the Secret Wars tale, it's reasonable to believe the Beyonder will not appear in the film. Instead, it appears that Kang the Conqueror from Jonathan Majors will be the one in charge of organizing the crossover. This is due to the fact that Avengers: Secret Wars and Avengers: The Kang Dynasty will both be released in the same year. The two films are additionally anticipated to conclude Phase 6, the final stage of the new MCU narrative known as the Multiverse Saga. With that being said, we only have time and hope for what the future holds in Avengers 5 and 6. On a related note, tell us in the comments down below, what are your thoughts about the Secret Wars? Is it suitable of being an Avengers movie? Who do you hope to see in Phase 6 of the MCU? Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon if you'd like to see more videos like this in the future. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.